here we are again. Again, I ask, does no one take the day off? And why do the racists always seem to rise to the top? Here we have a high school coach calling Black cheerleaders. That favorite word again, the N word. Wow. Outraged parents call out Georgia school district's hollow promises after the coach. I always loved my coaches. Well, most of them. I didn't think of one. I'm not going to call him out. But he did some stereotypical things. Anyway, it's not about me. Most people love their coaches. They look to their coaches. Look at Coach Walls and how remember the players came, DNC, they got on stage. Everybody will show up for Coach Walls. That's because coaches, they're supposed to inspire us. And when you're playing a team sport, which cheerleading is, they're supposed to lead us and guide us. It's not just all about wins and losses or not crashing the pyramid. That part, okay?
With millions watching and many people benefiting from this program called Indisputable, we just need 1% of the viewers to become a paid member so we can continue to bring this content to you. Now back to the show.
So here we have a coach targeting Black girls with a racist slur. Georgia School District has settled a civil rights lawsuit with an agreement to respond to racial harassment incidents after 2 former Black students were called a slur by their cheerleading coach. Why would there even have to be a lawsuit? Again, it's what Yas said. Adults, don't you know how to do the right thing? However, their parents are concerned district officials won't thoroughly implement those measures. You're right. That's not even an aha moment. I'm in Georgia. Here's what happened. Antwishia Thomas and Cortese Walker filed 2 complaints January 15th, 2020 against the Houston County School District after learning that a coach at Veterans High School, Danielle Satterfield, called their daughters the N-word twice during a cheer practice, October 2019. Daniel Satterfield. Thomas and Walker told the Macon Telegraph that a junior varsity coach was the one who notified them about the slur. I've had that happen before, too. Coach confronted Satterfield, who apologized, said that he was quoting lyrics to a song, according to the investigative documents from the U.S. Department of Education's Office for Civil Rights. Parents reported the incident to the school administration. During an internal investigation, all the coaches told administrators that nothing unusual occurred at practice. Okay, so then lies. First came the slur, then came the lies. Okay? You're something else, then the lawsuit. Thomas and Walker also told school leaders that Satterfield had a history of bringing up questionable and offensive race-based topics to their daughters, like making remarks about dark skin, calling Walker's daughter's name ghetto. 2 girls were the only Black cheerleaders on the squad. I guess thought he was funny. Girls were eventually deemed uncoachable. There's the retaliation part. Uncoachable in an instance of alleged retaliation. After the racial slur was reported to the school, Satterfield's wife, the cheer squad's head coach, Katie Satterfield, allegedly retaliated against both girls by denying them spotters for stunts and eventually deeming them uncoachable. The girls were kicked off the squad shortly afterward. This is the oldest trick in the book. That's why I always kept memos. And if you have to, look what Gretchen Carlson did at Fox. You gotta sometimes press record. They don't think you'll do that, but sometimes the behavior rises to that level. So when they try to lie, you got them. No recording here that we know of. Instead, retaliation. They're uncoachable. They don't get spotters. And you know what? You got to get off the squad. You're bringing down morale, racist morale. After the district learned that 3 cheer coaches who were initially approached about the racial slur lied when officials questioned them, the girls were allowed back on the squad. That's a duh moment as well. Of course, they should be allowed back. I'm waiting for the next shoe to drop. School ordered all squad practices to be held on campus moving forward and coordinated an administrator's presence at practices to monitor the team. The reason I laughed was because I thought you were going to say that everyone was fired. All the adults were fired, including people who didn't know about it because they should have known about it. Racists don't act this way in a vacuum. That's why I had to laugh out loud. Resolution agreement was reached July 17th, dictates the school system must issue a statement on the district's prohibition against racial harassment, train all school staff on race-based discrimination, swiftly address all racial harassment reports, among other measures. Now, the agreement does not mandate the district to admit any wrongdoing or liability. Thomas and Walker stated they felt the Satterfields were never held fully accountable. They weren't for their actions. Would have felt better if the district had apologized at the time the situation happened. Daniel Satterfield no longer works at Veterans High. Now, you notice how they didn't say he was fired. He was, taken out to the woodshed. Doesn't say that, yes. This is even, and I'm not blaming the victims in any way. Thank you for your courage. But the bar is, even what they're asking for is so low at this point. It's sick. And this whole thing about the song, I just got rap lyrics. Even J-Lo knows that now. You better not say that word.
I was just gonna say, we just talked about this the last time we were on. Like, don't do that. This is just another case of adults not being adults. And what's crazy to me with these stories is how prolific the N-word has become in schools. It's unbelievable. If we heard that school back when I was in school, back in my day, if we heard that word in a school, it was a big, big deal. I can't imagine what would happen if it came from a teacher, even, especially like not from from one of the students. But it's like what I said earlier, these schools are like microcosms of the outside world. And what's sad is that these children are the ones who are stuck inside of those buildings. They're the ones who have to deal with the immaturity and regression of the adults in their lives. They're the ones who have to take all of this negativity and internalize it because they're not being supported the way they should be by the adults in their lives. And these are adults who have chosen to be there. These are educators or coaches. They wanted that job. And let's say that the student was, what did they say, uncoachable? So what? Coach them. That is your job. And if you can't coach them, figure something else out. It doesn't mean you get to use racial slurs. But again, here they're prioritizing the optics over the students. They're worried about their own reputations and the school's reputation. And they know the way these things typically work out these days. Things go viral. We talk about them on shows like this. Things that should be dealt with internally are now being dealt with in the public sphere. But really, the only reason why they get to the public sphere in the first place is because they aren't getting dealt with internally. If they had dealt with it the way they should have in the first place, it would not be a story.
It's despicable. And the reason I said even the people in power here, administrators, the other coaches, whatever, should be fired even if they didn't know about this is because they did know. And I'm going to tell you why. Again, racists don't behave this way in a vacuum. If we were to ask people, I don't know, let them drink a little bit of wine or get comfortable. I should say, just get comfortable around people who look like them and start bringing up so-and-so. You would hear years and years, a history of this kind of behavior. I'm telling you, you would. How do I know? Because I've been Black a long time, okay? And I've had friends from all walks of life. And things like this come up. They're not hidden. They're just not hidden. What should happen here? Because I'm in Georgia and I can tell you, the state, the district, people will pay tons of money rather than do the right thing and stop being racist here.
Yeah, it's kind of funny because it's like, a lot of these stories, it's like, it's so much easier if you just do the thing that you should do rather than trying to hide it or deflect away from it or pay these people or, you're getting sued from these people. Wouldn't it just be so much easier to just say or do the right thing in the first place? But no, they would still rather just stick to whatever their racist guns are or whatever it is, whatever hill they've chosen to die on. It's usually never a hill that's worth dying on.
No, it's not.
I mean, it's their money, whatever. So.
Yeah, but that tells you about the commitment to racism. Fully committed, all in. It's like, well, you're married, you took, you said vows. I don't know if you said the death do us part, but you're committed, right? You're committed. Don't mean to put you on the spot personally.
I'm almost married. I'm not married yet, almost.
Okay, so you're uncommitted thus far, okay? But you have intentions to commit. These people, I can tell you, they are married. Married to bigotry and racism. Okay. There we go
It's not
again.
just like the commitment, it's also the lifestyle, like what it would mean to break away from that commitment, to break away from that entire everything that they've known.
Wow.
And it takes so much internal personal work, and sometimes it takes years of deprogramming, either years of deprogramming or just like one incident that kind of shakes you up. And it really is, it's emotionally trying, and a lot of people just don't even want to go there with themselves.
So instead, the rest of us have to
Exactly.
sit in it and let it marinate. It's
Mhm.
sick. You're sick out there. Get a hold of your life.